was asking people to do testimonies. And at the time, I did not sign the sign-up sheet. And I hadn't given my testimony in about 25 years, so it's due. It's time to do it.
Right.
But I didn't really feel led of the Spirit to do it until my brother Matthew, who lives in Kansas, told me about a video about a song that I've heard quite a few times on the radio, Christian radio. It's by Matthew West. It's called Forgiveness. And when I looked up the story of forgiveness, I found myself getting deeper and deeper into it, and found that I had a lot of things in my life that I needed to forgive. And growing up, I was in a good, loving Christian family. Went to a Christian school, became a Christian at the age of 5, and went to church 5-6 times a week usually, between prayer practices and Bible studies and church and everything else. So it wasn't for a lack of going to church that made me gay. I realized that I was different at about the age of 10, and it was a struggle all the way through school. I was always in sports. I was a gold medal wrestler. I was left tackle and nose guard in football. I got gold, silver, and bronze medals in track. And I did all these things to bring out the macho. But God had other plans for me. And through it all, I actually came out of the closet when I was a freshman in college. And I'll never forget, I told my uncle first, and he decided to let the entire family know. And when my parents came out to visit me, they already knew, and I had this big speech planned out to tell them everything. They had me going back with them to Syracuse, New York, and they wanted me to go through counseling and talk to my pastor and all these other things. Well, needless to say, I didn't do that in the beginning. I talked with them for about 4.5, 5 hours that night, and the next morning, after they had left, I had to go to church. I had to go to work in the morning, so I said, you just need to go, I'll go back with you. And I called my parents the next morning, and I said, no, I am who I am. This isn't going to change. It's been around for a long time. It's not going away. And my mom said, I'll see you in heaven, and she hung up on me. And my father said, you're breaking your mother's heart. And those were the things that I remembered from my family when I first came out. And it was very, very difficult for a long time. I ended up going back to Syracuse with them not too long after that, because I had a bad experience with my ex at the time. And so I went back and actually joined Continental Singers and was with them for almost a year and traveled all over Europe and all over the United States. And then I got kicked out from Continentals because I was gay. And then going back to the church, it was very difficult for me because everything that I'd always been taught, it was wrong, you're a sinner, you're going to hell. And I knew that wasn't what I wanted in my life. I didn't want that pressure in my life. So I just left the church completely behind me for 20 years. And it wasn't until Stan, a lot of you know Stan, some of you don't, but I met Stan at Oil Can Harry's one night, and after a few months he invited me to church, and here I am. And it's been almost 3 years now, and God has blessed me tremendously. I had ended a 10-year relationship that devastated me, and God took me through all these different things to bring me to the point of needing Him. And so I came back to church, and Joe's wonderful preaching, the words, the songs that they sang, and It got me into a place where I needed to be back in church and rededicate my life to the Lord. And now I have this wonderful, wonderful man as a partner that's not just handsome, but he's an incredible man of God. And we've grown closer to one another and closer to God in the last year and a half. And I thank God for him. And it's been such a tremendous experience. But then when I saw the video and the story of forgiveness, it was sung by Matthew West, I realized that I needed to forgive my family and the church in general. And all these other people that have hurt me so badly over the years. My exes, I've had bad experiences. But thank God, God saved me for a wonderful man like this. The song Forgiveness by Matthew West was a song that he came up with when he was given a story by a lady that had an incredible experience of forgiveness. Her daughter was killed in a car accident by a drunk driver, and it made national news. She was going around to different churches and different groups and talking about forgiveness. And she realized that she didn't have forgiveness in her own heart for the man that had killed her daughter and her best friend. And when she came to the realization that she needed to forgive them as well, she actually went before the judge and asked him to cut his sentence in half. And through it all, in the video, you're going to see pictures of this man crying on her shoulder. And through it all, this man became a Christian. And now he goes around all the United States talking with her. And it's just such a tremendous testimony of forgiveness. It touched me so greatly that I just needed to share it with you. This is a song of forgiveness.